In this video, I'm going to continue with our first lesson on writing lines. So we're going to take a quick little aside to talk about some graphing, but really then use our understanding of parallel and perpendicular lines to help us give like one more little twist to how we're going to write the equation of lines. So you guys learned in Algebra 1 that parallel lines have the same slope, but different y-intercepts, and lines that are perpendicular have opposite reciprocal slopes. So that means you're going to flip the fraction and then make the sign the opposite. So if it was a positive slope, it becomes a negative, and vice versa. So let's first graph two of these, and then we will get a chance to see if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Now, neither of these are actually in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to start first and do 3y equals negative 4x plus 3. And I'm going to put this in slope-intercept form by dividing everything by 3 to get negative 4/3 x, and then 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'm going to plot. Let's use a different color for this. I'll use red for this one. So I'm going to plot positive 1 for the y-intercept, and the slope, which is here in front of the x, is a negative 4/3. Now, the way I teach it, it could be different from how you learned it, is I always try, if I can, if I have enough space, to move up always. So the numerator is 4. So that's my rise of 1, 2, 3, 4. Then because we have a negative slope, I'm going to move left 3 units, that y value, that run of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and then 1, 2, 3 to the left. Same thing would go the other way. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All right. So this is that first line. Now let's do the same thing with this other line. So I noticed that I need to move that 3x to the other side to be negative 3x. And then I'm going to divide everything by negative 4. So a negative 3 divided by negative 4 is a positive 3/4 x. And then 8 divided by negative 4 is minus 2. So let's use a different color to graph this one. Negative 2 for the y-intercept, and the slope is 3/4, so a positive 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 over. 1, 2, 3, that's off the grid. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll make it. And you can actually visually see the relationship between these two lines, right? But you can also algebraically see that if you highlight their slopes, right, the slope of this first line that I did in red was negative 4/3. The slope of this second line that I did in blue was positive 3/4. Those are flips, right? The fractions have flipped, and the signs are opposite. So because they have opposite reciprocal slopes, these two lines are perpendicular. Now, let's use this kind of understanding to help us write the equation of a line like we did in part 1 of this lesson. So it says we have our line goes through the point 3, 5, so we have a point, and it's parallel to this line, 5x plus 3y equals 1. So let's go ahead and put this into slope-intercept first. So move the 5x over, divide everything by 3, which will give us 1/3. And you might be thinking, oh man, I don't want to deal with a fraction y-intercept. We don't actually have to graph this. We are just literally pulling the slope from this. So the slope is going to be negative 5/3 for this line. And our line, since it's parallel, will have the same slope. So our slope will also be negative 5/3. All right. Now, if we have a point and we have a slope, we can use the point slope form. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x subscript 1. So plug in. Remember to think opposites. It's going to be y minus my y value of 5 equals my slope of negative 5/3 times x minus my x value of 3. Distribute. You get y minus 5 equals negative 5/3 x. So negative 5/3 times negative 3, I know is going to be a positive, all right? And if you want to do what I did earlier in this lesson and think about simplifying across, the 3's will cross out, so you're left with just 5. Or you can multiply the numerator of 5 times 3 to get 15 divided by 3, which is 5. Doesn't matter, your choice. So now we have to get y by itself by adding 5 to both sides. And 5 plus 5 will give you 10. So you'll notice that, there was nothing new after we had the slope. The only new piece of information in this section is you might have to do a little work to find the slope of the line that's given to you, and then use your understanding about parallel lines and their slopes and perpendicular lines and their slopes to continue. All right, that's it for this section 2. Don't forget to work on those links to make sure you're getting some credit for your formative assessments. Good luck.